Most couples are terrible at resolving conflicts. Some are pure disasters. Usually, the moment there's a conflict, couples start arguing over facts, trying to prove themselves right, criticizing the other, defending yourself, trying to quickly end the conversation, like seeing it just as a problem to be solved. More importantly, when negative emotions come, they usually think of them as distraction, as an obstacle, and they just don't know what to do with them. Today I'm going to tell you the first step in master level conflict resolution, and I'll teach it through my acting. In the first step, you have to learn to notice emotions in yourself and the other and mention them in the conversation. Let's start with what you shouldn't do. Let's take the example of a couple where husband has a complaint with the wife. So husband becomes the complainant, wife the respondent. I want you to notice how in their usual argument style, there is no talk about emotions. Why did you keep talking to Brad in yesterday's party? There were other people also. What are you talking about? I didn't just talk to Brad, I was talking to everybody. No, you were not. You were just clinging to him. Everybody else also noticed it. Did anyone say anything? They didn't have to. I could see them looking at you both. Stop making shit up. I'm not making it up. I saw it. I didn't even want to go to this party. You took me and now you're fighting with me? I'm not fighting. I'm just telling you, don't embarrass me so much by talking to a random dude so much. God, you're so possessive. I swear I'm never going out with you again. See? Husband was criticizing, wife was defending. Both of them ignored emotions of each other. They were sure feeling emotions, but we did not see it in the conversation. Let's fix half of it. First, the respondent, in this case the wife, learns to focus on husband's emotions. Notice how the conversation goes differently this time. Why did you keep talking to Brad in yesterday's party? There were other people also. Now when husband brings this complaint, the wife shows awareness of his emotions. She detects that husband sure is going through some negative emotions and her goal is to understand it. So she digs deeper. Yeah, I was just talking to Brad about his new venture. Is there a problem with me talking to him? This question will make the husband talk about the deeper issue. It's not a problem you were talking to him. It was a bit embarrassing because you talked so much. People were noticing you both. Wife may start guessing by now that the husband was feeling a bit jealous, possessive, but it is still not out in the open yet. So she has to keep asking. You felt embarrassed because others might think something inappropriate was going on? Probably. And that's not even the main thing. It was a bit disrespectful to me also. Like, I'm there in the party, you didn't even talk to me once. Now earlier, wife would have started defending herself, but this time she focuses on his feelings. Oh, you felt ignored. You did ignore me. I mean, look at other couples. They stick together and you just walk off talking to random dudes. So you felt that as a couple we seem distant? Yeah. The husband still hasn't admitted to being jealous. It's not an easy thing to admit for some people. So the wife would have to mention it herself. See, when others don't open up, trying to guess their emotions is needed, but it's tricky. You have to do it in a manner that you're just suggesting a hypothesis and then you have to leave the room for the other person to accept or reject your hypothesis. And if you want to push it a bit, you can only do that with affection and humor. And I'm sensing you also felt a bit jealous that I was talking to Brad. I'm not jealous about that stupid guy. Someone is jealous. Shut up. I'm not. He kind of admitted it with that smile, and that's progress. And finally, it's always good to gauge the intensity of emotions. So tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how upset are you about the whole thing? Maybe a 5 or 6? Alright. And now the actual discussion, problem solving, compromise, future planning can begin. This seemed better, right? But that conversation was still not ideal because the complainant, the husband, was mostly making accusations. Let's make the conversation even better by making him focus on and talk about his emotions. And notice how conversation is so much smoother this time. Earlier, he just directly started, why did you keep talking to Brad in yesterday's party? There were other people also. Now, he needs to think like this. I didn't really like my wife talking to that guy in the party, but what am I really feeling here? He has to dig deeper in his own mind and then be honest about his feelings. Be vulnerable. He must start the conversation softly with a focus on emotions. He needs to keep saying, I feel, I felt. Hey, in the party yesterday, when you were talking to Brad for so long, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't feel good about it. Really? I had no idea. Why did it bother you? He started the talk with emotions. She wants to know more about emotions. Great progress. Well, I felt a bit embarrassed because you were talking to him too much. And others were also noticing. Now the husband has given us a real emotion.
Embarrassed, huh? So you feel others might think something inappropriate was going on?
Maybe. People gossip.
Is that the main issue then?
After this question, again, the husband needs to be very honest about what's really bothering him.
I guess the main thing is I felt I didn't get any attention from you. We became so distant in the party. I didn't even feel like I had a wife. You felt ignored and distant.
Yeah.
And tell me honestly, you felt a bit jealous, right? Because I was talking to Brad?
Now this time, instead of just rejecting the hypothesis outright, he needs to think and be honest.
Yeah, the fact that it was Brad did bother me more. I was a bit possessive.
Amazing.
Okay, so tell me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how upset are you about the whole thing?
Well, maybe 4 or 5. Now, this was so much healthier, right? Because there was no animosity. Now, you may think they haven't really solved anything. What have we achieved here? Well, I'll tell you. The wife now genuinely understands where the husband is at. She can empathize so much better. Also, because of this, the husband understands himself better. And he also knows that the wife knows what he's going through. He feels more connected to her because they are on the same page. And since the husband focused on his emotions, he was much less hurtful to the wife while making the complaint. The wife was able to listen without getting triggered because he was not throwing accusations. And finally, since both of them are now aware of the emotions in the picture, they can start thinking of solutions related to feelings of embarrassment, feeling ignored, jealousy, etc. The remaining conversation would be so much more productive. So essentially, during a conflict, if you're not aware of each other's emotions, it's like you're standing on different sides of the river and fighting. You're just shouting like fools. The moment you become aware of the negative emotions and you acknowledge them, it's like you build a bridge on the river. You can walk and come closer. You see each other better and there's less foolish shouting. Always build this bridge first. Bottom line, in every conflict, both should be aware of and acknowledge both of your emotions. Shridhar Life School now specializes in relationship counseling. We start with an in-depth checkup or assessment of your relationship, your strong and weak areas. Now, based on that, our therapists will help you using world-class techniques and interventions, which have been developed after decades of research in marital therapy. It's always better if both partners come for counseling, but if for some reason your partner is unable to join, you can definitely start on your own. To book sessions, visit our website shridharlifeschool.com.